Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow and welcome to my Simple Sunday project. Today I'm using up some of the scraps that I had left over from Friday evening. And Friday was my holiday game night and we were using the Wrapped in Plaid suite. And we weren't just making Christmas cards, we were making get well, thank you, feel better soon. Some were Merry Christmas, and you could choose whichever sentiment you wanted. And so I have lots and lots of little pieces of paper left from there, and I wanted to use them to start to make my thank you cards. Now, this thank you card has a little bit of Wrapped in Plaid and a little bit of the Let It Snow suite. And what I've done is I've set all of my note cards and envelopes up because that's what I'm using for this. I've made lots of these on these little scraps of paper. I've stamped all my thanks. I've got a lot of these kind of scraps, which are my 2-inch pieces that I'm using on the envelopes and for some of the little pieces that go across here instead of card. I've got my pack of note cards and envelopes waiting, and I've got just everything ready to use as a conveyor belt to make my little cards and envelopes. And I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to make these. You don't need much in the way of supplies. You don't need much paper, card, anything, because really you can just use little scraps, tiny little scraps of card, tiny little pieces of paper, and no one would ever know. It looks beautiful. Now the stamps that I'm using are from the Looking Up card kit, and what I've liked about this, I loved making the cards, but what I really like is that these sentiments fit in lots of our punches. I've been using them with tailored tag and with the timeless label. So these two patterns, I think they're brilliant for these. On the actual kit, they do use a shape that's already pre-cut. That really is the tailored tag shape. So I knew that that one would fit, but honestly, they fit so many. And if you don't have these kind of label punches, they fit in our circles as well. So, you know, you can make them in any of the punches you've got. I love when it's a versatile set of stamps like this that has happy birthday, feel better, congratulations, thank you, and it means you can use them just for everything. It's almost like having a paper pumpkin set of stamps where they have quite a few different sentiments on, and you can use them on lots of cards, and so that's what that's like. Now, let me show you how I'm going to start to make these. I've got just the note cards because they're already pre-cut, pre-scored. The envelopes are with them, and it doesn't take very long at all to get them ready to make a card. Okay, now this is a piece from the Let It Snow. I know that I'm not going to use any more sort of snowy pictures, snowman pictures, anything like that. So that's why I'm using the back. And that's one of the things as well about Stampin' Up designer paper. I love that if it's got sort of a particular theme on one side, which may be holidays, or, you know, it's quite floral, then when you look at the back is totally different, and it means that you can use it for lots of other occasions as well. Okay, if you need to know the sizings for any of my papers today, hop on to my craftsbythebow.blogspot.com site, and all the sizings will be up there. Okay, so there's our base already made. And then what I've done is I've cut a little piece of Whisper White because I already had these 2-inch pieces cut. So I cut this at 2 and I just cut this a tiny bit bigger at 2 1/4. If you have some cut that are 1 3/4 or 2 1/4, no, just alter the backing piece or the front piece to match what you've already got cut. Don't start and cut a lot of extra paper for something like this. You just don't need to. Let's put this back into camera. Okay, So I'm using wet glue at the moment. I don't have fast fuse left, or I can't find any more refills anyway, and I'm waiting for snail refills, so I used quite a lot of those over the week, and so I'm just using wet glue, and it gives me the chance that if I haven't got that straight like I haven't there, I can just move it along a little bit. And then I'm going to pop this onto here. You could put it straight down flat, but I'm going to put it onto dimensionals just because I want it raised up a little bit. I want a little bit of dimension there. Okay. They're really fast and easy cards. And I just like to have it set up like a little production line so I can go along and make all of the cards and put the fronts on, and then I'll have another little pile made of all of the next layer, like this piece, or I've got a whole pile of sentiments stamped ready to punch, and it just makes the whole thing really quick and easy, because once you get going you don't have to stop to cut anything else or to start and think, oh, which paper shall I use with that, which cardstock shall I find. You've got a whole pile. Okay, now I do have my sentiments. I've got one already cut out with that timeless label punch, but I'm going to cut one of the tailored tag ones and see what I like at the time. And these were just little pieces of card that were left over from a different project we were making, and you can't do a lot else with this, but it's perfect for just making these little sentiments. Okay, so I've got two sentiments ready. I used the starburst punch and cut lots of matching card out. So I'm just going to use this one here, and I used my 2-inch circle for white circles that fitted just on there. And these are actually from a card I made a couple of weeks ago. So I said at the time that if I had any little spare pieces of card, I would always cut circles or labels or even gift tag shapes, and then I've got them just ready in my box, and I don't have to wonder, oh, what shall I use, what can I get, because I know it's already made. Now let me see. On this card I used the tailored tag one, and it just was slightly underneath this circle, which I quite like. I quite like them to overlap, so I've got the same distance left and right, but I might use this other one. And I know this is a little bit smaller, and so it would just sit all on its own like that. And I think that's the one I'm going to use actually. I know I've just punched that one, oops, but I'm going to use this one. Okay, now if it's not going in the mail, you can do what I did here and have like a double dimensional layer, so that this layer was on dimensionals and these. If it's going in the mail, occasionally if you've got 2 layers of dimensionals, it won't go through the little guide that they have at the post office. So I know that these ones are not going in the mail, so I'm going to put them on dimensionals. But if you know that yours are, just be careful with the sizings and make sure that it's going to fit, else they charge you an arm and a leg. Okay, so let's put this over here. I know I haven't put the tree layer on here yet, but that's okay. I'm just going to get it laid out and ready. And on here I'm just going to use the end pieces of some of the dimensionals. I'm trying so hard not to use my pre-order of the new catalogue. I want to save it, and while I'm off on vacation for Christmas, I want to play with everything then. But the whole pile that I ordered on pre-order is just in the box at the side of me, and it keeps just shouting my name, come and play with me. But I'm trying desperately not to. I'm not listening. Okay, so I'm going to pop that on there. Okay, let's put this one away. Oh, I'll put it back on the pile. And then I've got a pile of trees. And if you watch me a lot, you'll know I've had a pile of trees for a couple of weeks from some projects that I was making. And this is all I've got left right now. I think I had about 50 at one time. And I've been using them on cards and on gift bags. And I do use them. And when I've had a tiny little piece of paper, let me just see, but if I've had sort of even pieces like this, I've punched out 3 trees, or, you know, I've tried to use every little scrap of all of our papers. Now, on the first one, it's a different design of DSP, but I used the navy and the spruce green. And I don't know whether to use that one or whether to put this one on. I think actually I'm going to put this one on. I like the navy, but I'm just going to put this little real tree on. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the liquid glue down the back. Pop that on there. And you'll notice I haven't put glue at each side and I haven't stuck the whole thing down, because once it's dry, I'm going to fold those edges up just to give it a little bit more dimensional still. So I'm going to put those back on the side. I've got a whole pile of little bows that I've tied using our baker's twine. I just need, here we go. I just need my little glue dots. And once you have everything all set out, it really does make it so quick and easy to craft, because everything you need is just at hand, and it often just gives you ideas when you see things. You think, oh yeah, that piece will go, whereas you might not have chosen that if you were starting to cut and, you know, starting to make everything, but because you've got a whole pile of it, it makes it so much easier. Okay, let me see if this is dry enough just to fold these edges up. And I don't want it to stick right up, but I just want it to look like there's a little bit more dimension to it. Okay, now I'm just going to get the matching envelopes. I've got another piece of these Let It Snow snowman paper, and I'm just going to put that over the, oh, got 2 there. I'm just going to put it over the flap on the envelope. If you find that you have trouble attaching that snowman paper because it's got quite a lot of heavily embossed glitter on it, I sometimes use the tear tape on it as well, and I found that sometimes this part of the glitter won't glue down, and so I've been using tear tape. There we are. This is a really quick and easy way to decorate your envelope. You don't need much paper, and it's, you know, just a fast way to make a difference. So I'm just going to cut round the envelope flap itself. And I find it easier to do like this than cut it to the exact size of the envelope flap and try and match it up. And I'm not always patient enough for that. Sometimes I want the flap to be done and finished and on to the next thing. So there we are. And then I do have lots of little strips like this, and I can't remember what I'd made that I'd cut such a tiny piece off, but I'm using those on the inside. I'll put the glue actually onto here. Let's turn that over. And see, you can hear that difference when I'm trying to glue over that glittery part. It can be just a bit difficult to glue over there, but tear tape just takes care of that. It's really easy. If you only have a small piece of this, you could put it down the left-hand side, and that would still look really good. Let's move that. We don't need that anymore. If if you wanted to put any extra little pieces of bling on, you could put some of your little pearls or your rhinestones. I didn't want to put too much on so that it started to look like a Christmas card. You know, I didn't want to put bling on the little trees or anything in case they just looked like a decorated card, a decorated tree, I beg your pardon. Okay, so there we are. I could swap those over, look, couldn't I, so that the stripes go the same way. I think I might. So there are my cards for my Simple Sunday. I'm going to be making probably the rest of this pack and maybe another half a dozen cards. And I do have cards to make for all the little preschoolers as well that brought gifts for my lead teacher and I. So I'm going to make those ones too, but I probably won't put trees on theirs. I might use some of our older DSP with the rhinos and the alligators and things on. I think they'd probably like that better than a little tree. But that's my cards for now. And please join me again on Wednesday. And I do want to say as well, I only need 6 more subscribers for my 1,000 subscriber goal that I was set for the year. And I've got, what day is it today? Is it the 15th of December, I think? So I've got 10 days till Christmas and then another week. So I've got about 3 weeks until I have to have my last 6 subscribers. So if you're a regular watcher and you haven't subscribed, please, 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 if you feel that you can, please just subscribe and let me reach that 1,000 goal. And then I'm going to be giving away a stamp set. And as soon as I know that I've got the 1,000, I'll make a quick extra video and show you, which stamp set I'm going to give, and ask all of those who are interested in receiving the set, ask them just to comment, and then I know who would like to join in. So thank you very much indeed, everybody, and I'll see you all again really soon. Bye bye.